And for more on Brett Favre's decision to ask to be released by the Green Bay Packers, let's check in with Charles Barkley, who's playing at the American Century Championships in Lake Tahoe. Charles, thanks for taking some time out. So what are your thoughts on Brett Favre wanting to come back to the National Football League?
Well, if he wants to play, he put the Packers in a really awkward situation. I think they should release him and let him go. I love Brett, got respect for him, but, he retired. The Green Bay Packers, at some point, they got to go in another direction. But if he wants to play, he should play. But they've got to go in a different direction at some point.
Hey, Charles. Hey, this is Rod Woodson with the NFL Network. Aaron Rodgers, his replacement, he's sitting there at the same tournament you're at. Do you have any advice for him? Have you looked him up to tell him what he should look forward to?
Well, when I saw him, I just told him to hang in there. He's in a horrible situation. I feel bad for him, to be honest with you. And, I just feel bad because Brett's a great guy. But, at some point, it's got to be Aaron's turn. And, Brett has been a great player for a long time. Hey, Rod, we all want to keep playing. But, and if I was Brett, I would retire, to be honest with you, because, as an old guy, when I was young, I used to always say, why do these old guys keep playing? And then when I became an old guy, I kept saying to myself, well, I suck this year. I'm going to try to have one more good year and then retire. So Brett hit the lottery, he had a great year. You don't have to wait till you can't play anymore. If I was Brett and I'm not, hey, it's great to go out on a high note. Because, most guys, myself included, at the end of your career, you suck. That's unfortunate, but that's the way the truth of the matter. So I would love to see a guy, do like a John Elway or Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan probably could still play. But it's something to be said to finishing your last year really well like Brett did.
But, you think about this. He comes in and having a press conference in March, and he goes out there and says, I want to retire. And he had a heartfelt press conference. What do you think about a guy coming out prematurely and then a couple months later, not a year later, but a couple months later saying, I changed my mind?
The reason it's such a tough situation is because it's Brett Favre. And, in fairness, he hadn't played well the last 3 or 4 years. If he wasn't Brett Favre, they probably would have cut him. So he should give the Packers some slack, to be honest with you, Rod. If he was any other quarterback the last 3 or 4 years, they would have cut him. But because he was Brett Favre, they kept him around. And he had a great year last year. And I wish he would retire having a good year. It's frustrating when you see great players hang on, and then. But I wish I could have played well my last couple of years, to be honest with you. But he had a great year, and I wish guys would retire on stop instead of just hanging around.
Charles, we're running out of time, but I got a two for you here. First off, though, if you're the Packers, brass, Ted Thompson, Mark Murphy, and Mike McCarthy, do you want to be the group that released Brett Favre? The way he is revered there in Green Bay, that's A, and B, how's your golf game?
Well, first of all, my golf game sucks. I mean, I'm not very good. I just got to accept that fact. You know what? At some point, they did the same thing to Joe Montana in Kansas City. In San Francisco. Sometimes you have to make those calls. And as sooner or later, they've got to find out if Aaron Rodgers can play. And I wish him the best. He's the one who's in a really awkward situation, to be honest with you.
All right, Charles Barkley, never at a loss for words, and we appreciate the time. Good luck this weekend, big fella.
Thank you very much.